$60,000, $100,000 a month. And I'm just like, I'm over here struggling and y'all over here living y'all best life, living y'all dreams. Why am I so scared to take the leap?
What's good, go-getters? I'm Erica Smith, a Louisiana girl who left corporate and dove headfirst into digital entrepreneurship. I took everything I learned in my 11-year social media marketing and sales career, launched my online business, and made $20K in 2 weeks. But it wasn't long after I realized that making money is only a small part of running a successful company. And looking back, I could have used a lot of insight and direction. So I'm keeping it real on this podcast, doing all the research so you don't have to. Mindset, money, struggles, and setbacks are all safe topics here. Get ready to learn the marketing methods and sales secrets to scaling a successful digital business that serves both your purpose and your pockets. Consider this a cookout kickback with a touch of table talk networking. Your journey as an entrepreneur is definitely the ride of your life, but if you're ready to go get it, you're in the right place. Welcome to Go Getter.
Hey, what's good, Go Getters? Welcome back to another episode of the Go Getter podcast. I'm Erica Smith, and today we're diving deep into my personal story. One of the craziest, scariest, and really most exciting times in my life. The time I was pregnant, scared out of my mind, and somehow managed to walk away $20,000 richer. Yeah, it's a wild one, but I promise it's relatable, especially if you're feeling stuck or unsure about what to do next in your life or business. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's talk. Okay, so let's rewind to around 2015. This was the time I was really introduced to the world of digital products. I mean, I've been trying to figure out how to make money online forever. I mean, OGs, like all my original followers, all the OGs know I had a YouTube channel back in 2008, and I had been dabbling around social media since like high school. So this was like 2006, 2007, but I just couldn't crack the code on how everyone was making these big bucks. Like I'd hear people talking about making money online, but I was always kind of like, what are y'all actually doing? Because no one was telling me the specific details. They would just be like, we're making thousands of dollars. We're making money in my sleep. Or like, I'm making money in my sleep. That was such a big thing. And, we just couldn't figure it out. Or I knew I couldn't figure it out. But one day I stumbled across this amazing woman named CC, or the six-figure chick on Instagram. And sadly, she's no longer with us. God rest her soul. But she was the first person who really opened my eyes to the world of digital entrepreneurship, because she was out here making thousands of dollars selling ebooks. And I was like, wait, you can really make money doing that? And it sparked something in me for sure, but I just wasn't quite ready to jump in yet. So if we fast forward a little bit, and I'm following this other powerhouse, Danielle Leslie. So I never forget, I got served her content on an ad. She was looking up, there was this big green pasture, and she just had this beautiful face and this natural hair. And I was like, who's this chick? So if you don't know Danielle, you need to look her up because she is incredible. This was around 2015, 2016-ish, and she was teaching people how to create courses based on what they knew. And she still has this program. It's called Course from Scratch. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I know sales. I know marketing. I've been working in this space professionally for years, but full transparency, we were broke. Okay. Like broke, the kind of broke where you're just scraping by, praying that you can make things work together somehow. And her course was $2,000. It was like 6 payments of $360 some. And listen, I didn't have $360 some to spare. So what did I do? I sat on her webinar every single week for a year, soaking up whatever free info I could get. I was just like, okay, let me try to reverse engineer this, funnel hacking, as they call it. But truthfully, it was just because I didn't have the money to invest in her program, no matter how much I wanted to. And honestly, that's one of the main reasons that really drives me when we think about our pricing. And I get it, we offer a ton of value in HESU, which is our online university. Like, we do a lot. Like, we teach you funnels, we teach you content creation, ads, YouTube, like all the things. But I know what it feels like to be super talented and just be really tight for cash. So that's one of the reasons why our payment plans are super flexible. But yeah, so anyway, so here I am trying to piece this thing together, right? And 2018 rolls around and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I started my business, Hey Erica Smith, in March of 2018 while I was still working in my corporate job. I made my first sale and I was like, okay, maybe this could actually work. But let's be real. It was just the beginning and I knew I had a long way to go. So Halloween rolls around later on that year and my entire world just flips upside down. My husband starts experiencing chest pains and we end up in the hospital in the ER. Long story short, he needed open heart surgery. Y'all, that was terrifying. I'm talking about the kind of fear that stops you in your tracks and just makes you rethink everything. And it was in that moment I really realized just how fragile life is. And when it comes down to your health, like that's the most valuable thing that you have, and your time, like you can't get that back. It was a wake up call in every sense of the word for me. So now we're suddenly in a one income household because my husband can't work and I had to take time off for his surgery. We're under a lot of financial pressure, but this was also when I started going all in on my business because I was like, okay, now that I have time, let me really see what I can do with this. I started getting more sales, which was encouraging, but I still went back to work because y'all, I was pregnant. Okay. So of course, life hits you. You start rethinking things like, okay, we're going to have kids. We need to go ahead and do this. You know, if we're going to add another, we need to go ahead and do this. But yeah, so I was pregnant at the time and we needed insurance and I needed a sense of security. I mean, it was a lot to juggle, but every single day I went back to work. I hated it more and more. I mean, people, if you've ever worked with me, both like, I guess on the client student side and the actual traditional sense of the word work, so many people would tell me, oh girl, I come to work just to hear you, or you make me laugh when we get here. It's like, you so crazy. Like I was that spark at every job that I worked at. But y'all, when I was going into my job, like I was hating it more and more and more every day. I was miserable. Like, it's like, I don't know. I was just so sad because I mean, imagine it. I'm sitting here miserable because I'm watching Danielle Leslie and all these other entrepreneurs talk about how they're making $60,000, $100,000 a month. And I'm just like, I'm over here struggling and y'all over here living y'all best life, living y'all dreams. Why am I so scared to take the leap? Y'all, I was scared. I don't know what would happen if I didn't know what would happen if I quit my job. Like, I just didn't know how we would survive. So September 2019 rolls around and I'm at my breaking point. I'll never forget this day. It was September 12th and I woke up just bawling my eyes out because I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't drag myself to that job one more day. And my husband, God bless him, he stood up, he slams his hand on the dresser. He's just like, that's it. You're quitting today. I was like, what? How? We have bills. But he was so serious, y'all. He was like, you're quitting today. That's it. I'm done. You're quitting. Now listen, I was every bit of 6 months pregnant, scared out of my mind. But at the same time, I felt this crazy sense of relief. I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So we drove to the Brookshires parking lot that was near our house. And before I went in to quit, we just sat there and prayed. I just needed guidance, y'all. I was terrified. We prayed for direction, for strength, for a sign. And I kid you not, I started to feel this overwhelming peace just come over me. So I walked into my job and of course, everybody's like, hey, Erica, what's going on? They waving at me, just business as usual. Okay, they don't know I got my mind made up, right? I got it on my mind. I was done. So I tell my manager, you know, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice and she just looks at me like, do you have another job lined up? I was like, nope. Y'all, she was shocked. I mean, there was another girl that was there because I guess whenever you're a company that's with a union, you have to have a union rep present when you have like, I guess, high level meetings or whatever. So the union rep was there. They were just looking at me like I was crazy and they were trying to talk me out of it. Just reminding me that I was pregnant, that I didn't have another job lined up. I mean, as if I didn't know that, right? But I'd already made my decision, you know? So she was like, well, I'll just put you down as rehireable just in case, you know, just in case you have to come back if things don't work out with your little business. That was 5 years ago. And guess what? I never looked back. After quitting, I was forced to go all in on my business. I mean, it was sink or swim. And y'all, I swam. Within just a couple of weeks, I had made $20,000. And that moment, like those 2 weeks changed everything for me. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fast, but it was the moment that I took control of my future and trusted God fully with the rest. So that's pretty much my story. If you guys enjoy this, I can go into details about other little things that happened, but I kind of want to keep this episode kind of short because as we grow in our relationship together, I'm going to get a little deeper with y'all about where I was mentally and just emotionally and like what happened after I had my son and what that looked like. So maybe I'll talk about that in a future episode. But yeah, that was me, pregnant, scared, but $20,000 richer. So if you're in a tough spot right now, just know that sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. Trust me, I know it's terrifying. Well, if you feel the pull in your spirit, like if you know that something is really tugging on you, God's really pulling on you, you got to go for it, because that means that he's got your back and he's not going to let you fall. So I thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope this encouraged you today. If you love this episode, share with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. And I'll catch you next time on Go Getter.